right, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Bruce Johnson. I'd like to welcome you personally to our webinar today, to where you can catch the wave of WebEx innovation. We've got a lot of really good stuff today. I think you're going to be glad that you joined us. I want to give you a little bit of a background real quick. At the WebEx One event last month, Cisco launched a boatload of new WebEx technology, including new features, products, and acquisitions. This also included an announcement of continued investment of over $1 billion in their cloud collaboration portfolio. So they are going full speed ahead. And today we're going to give you a little bit of a glimpse into some of the things that were announced at the WebEx One conference last month. They're going to highlight these significant announcements. And whether you're new to WebEx, whether you're a longtime WebEx user, or whether you can't even spell WebEx, I think you're going to get some key nuggets of wisdom today. So a couple of other things. Please go ahead and enter questions to your heart's content. You can do it in chat if you'd rather, but Q&A works out well as well. So click on the Q&A, and we've got our subject matter experts that can provide answers for that. And so go ahead and take advantage of that opportunity we have. So let me quickly introduce our speakers, and then we'll get to the important stuff. Yeah, here we go. This is some good pictures here. We've got Dennis Trope, Cisco collaboration expert and not a surfer, but he loves the beach. He's a collaboration expert. He's been at Cisco for 24 years. Josh Longbottom is a Cisco collaboration specialist as well. He's been at Cisco for 10 years, and he's actually in Hawaii as we speak. He's delivering his presentation from Hawaii. Craig Larson, and that is a real picture you see on the right-hand side there. That's filmed in Bali on one of his surfing trips. So he is our CVE team lead for collaboration. He's also a goofy-footed carver, hard charger, and he's known for snapping it off the lip, whatever the heck that means. Anyway, we want to thank you for joining today. I think we're going to have some fun, and hopefully you'll learn a lot as well. So hang tight, and let's turn it over to our presenters. Take it away, Craig.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Thanks for your business and your time. We appreciate it. Real quick on the picture, I had quite a few people asking me. So that picture was taken from the south tip of Bali, Indonesia, at a surf break called Uluwatu. So that's the background on the picture. So the goal of this update today is to provide you with information on new features, new products, new offerings that CVE and Cisco has. What we want to do is give you direction on what products and features can help you achieve your business goals and needs. We want to try to help you understand where you want to go, and we want to try to help you understand how to get there. We've grown our collaboration practice to offer a diverse set of products that range from that span premise to cloud. But the key takeaway from this event and the goal is to let you know that if you have any questions and need help with a cloud strategy or enhancing the premise experience or bridging the gap between premise to cloud, we can help you with that plan, and we can help answer those questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run briefly through kind of 3 areas that we have offerings in. And these 3 areas are going to be prem, hybrid, and cloud. So on the premise side, a couple things to think about are currently on the collaboration platforms, version 10.x has been end of life and end of sale. So we have clients experiencing issues trying to order licenses on the 10x platform. We've had a couple lately in the contact center realm that need to add agents. So 10x has been end of life. The date for end of support on that is July 31st, 2022. So You do have time to get those updated to a later version, but you cannot order licenses for those today. If you are on a 10.x version, I would recommend that you reach out to your account manager and set up a time that we can come out and talk to you, maybe do an audit and put a plan together to get you up on a later version. A couple other things in the premise realm. We've got a lot of great products that enhance the premise experience. These products range from call recording applications, call reporting, attendant consoles, paging, expressway for remote workers, those types of things. So, for example, we get a lot of requests on the call reporting side to get better visibility into the collaboration environment, to find out what's going on with calls, and to do like cradle to grave type of reporting. So we do have a lot of things that can enhance the premise experience, whether it be just features that haven't been enabled, or if it's additional products to help enhance that experience. So in the hybrid arena, hybrid would be a mix of utilizing your premise system and adding on cloud services to that. During COVID, we helped a lot of clients spin up cloud instances that could tie into their current infrastructure. And so the hybrid can help bridge that gap between cloud and your premise environment. A couple products in the hybrid realm are the UCM Cloud. So the UCM Cloud is the ability to migrate your applications, your current infrastructure, into Cisco's cloud with preserving all the features and functionality that you currently have. Another product is going to be the UC Cloud Connector that lets you tie your premise applications from a management perspective into Control Hub and lets you manage those from the WebEx Cloud. In the cloud arena, we've got WebEx Meetings, which I think most people are familiar with, WebEx Teams, WebEx Calling, WebEx Contact Center, and Workforce Management. So we're going to be digging deeper into those technologies for the presentation today. Also, as Bruce mentioned, Cisco has invested $1 billion into their collaboration portfolio. So that's a substantial investment, and I think it shows a commitment into making the collaboration portfolio the industry's best. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis at the Billabong Pipe Masters Pro on the North Shore. Over to you, Dennis.
Yeah, so hey, welcome everybody. So actually, WebEx 1 wasn't the big event last December. It's actually the Pipe Masters 2020. The waves were just so huge that they had to, move it, and they had to move the women's competition because the waves were too huge, and they had to bring it over to the North Shore. But Josh can hit on all that later on. But hey, let's be serious. Surfing is where it's at, especially for Craig. I'm more of a golfer, but Craig's a surfer here. So, from our agenda, I'm going to cover, what are some of the new features that have been delivered and that will shortly be delivered from WebEx, the app, and from meetings. Josh is going to cover some of the endpoints and what we're dropping there. And then it's back to Craig for some calling and contact center. And, the one thing, we do encourage, maybe surfing, they don't encourage two people dropping in on the same wave, but with interactivity, make sure if there's questions, please ask them in the Q&A. So I think this is a picture of Craig, right? Or it could be, I'm not sure where this picture was taken, but, it could be Craig. But here, we've been asking the question for the last 6, 7, 8 years of give me one app. And now finally with the convergence of technology of going premise, convergence of the cloud, we've got to one app. And if you want to enable this app, please reach out to your Cisco account team, reach out to Josh, myself, Craig, and we can make sure that you are all set up and you are ready to go on this app. Because this app includes not just messaging for one-on-one chat, for group chatting, and having all the advanced features for file sharing, for reactions, threading, enterprise content management integrations with SharePoint, so that you can share it. You can put a link into a space, and that is a link to a living document on SharePoint. Everyone can co-edit that. To being able to have security and compliance for all your content, whether they be messages one-on-one, whether they be files, whether they be pictures, or whether they be meetings and recordings, that we can do e-discovery on that full stack of content, and being able to do cloud lock for data loss prevention. So if there is content you don't want to be external to your company or even internal to your company, we can remove that content. And then within this app, it's a great, app for meetings. We've, revamped our meetings platform and our UI. And I'll talk about what we're doing on events here in a few slides, but then also embedding calling into this app. So if you're on premise with Call Manager, then the Jabber soft phone gets embedded in this app. So all the features that you know and love with Jabber can be in this app. This app, does support multi-line, does support contact center, connectivity to UCCX and UCCE. So it can be the soft phone or hard phone control for your contact center or for everybody. And then last but not least, here, I can use this app for pairing and sharing. So if I have a Cisco video endpoint, either at your home or if you are going to the office, you can pair and share to your video endpoints. Then everything is controlled via this app, via the control hub in our cloud. So from there, we've made over this last year, the beginning of the year, we had a lot of COVID capacity expansion. So we went from anywhere from about 4.5 billion minutes up to about 28, 29, almost 30 billion minutes growth over it. And the growth is continuing. It hasn't plateaued, it hasn't stopped, it is still continuing growth. But with this, that also enabled us to be able to have rapid feature acceleration. So you've seen a lot of features from the UI perspective, the muting, the stop video, the labels down there, make it really clear. You look at, if you go into settings, you'll be able to have a new feature called from Babel, which is our noise removal story. So within that noise removal, just say noise remove, hit the checkbox and noise removal, and it removes all background noise. So if dogs barking, kids crying, coworkers, laughing or whatnot, it can remove that from the meeting. So the meetings are less disruptive. So that's kind of a quick view. You should be seeing this today. With that, some of the new features coming this month. The big one is gesture and we have AI enabled body language recognition. So now in this screenshot, I see a couple where I have a thumbs up, thumbs down, clapping. There are other gestures coming with this. Maybe there's a shaka gesture, Josh. Maybe we can get that voted on and get that implemented for our, for our Hawaiian, culture and customers from there. But it's all about human engagement. And we did announce an intent to acquire Slido. That acquisition hasn't closed yet, but that's another mechanism so that we can promote more human engagement. whether it's via polls, whether it's with word charts or other things. So Slido is a great tool for engagement of audiences during events. So here's that Shaka. Hopefully we can get that enabled. Some of the other features in the that are dropping this month is hard mute. So hard mute dropped back in November, and the hard mute. So when I'm in a meeting, I can click mute all, and I have a checkbox that says allow attendees to unmute themselves. If I have that checked, it's a soft mute, and everyone can mute and unmute themselves normally. If you uncheck that, then that means it's hard muted, and only a host or co-host can unmute somebody. So that's huge to make sure that no one is interrupting or being disruptive to a meeting. And then in this month, there'll be a moderated mute so that, you can, dynamically set the setting a little bit better, especially for video endpoints where you want to unmute the video endpoint, but they don't have to unmute themselves. So there's some audio privacy stuff. Next month in February, we're coming out with real-time translations. So today we can do closed captioning in meetings. So when I'm speaking, you'll have a closed caption that is being shown on the meeting window or video endpoint if the video endpoint supports it. In February, we're dropping real-time translations with English to Mandarin, Spanish, Arabic, French, Japanese, German, Portuguese, Dutch, and Russian. There is one that is Pidgin. So actually, I'm not sure if that's coming through. So Josh, we might need some help for you to get that implemented. Now, the next two questions most customers are asking me, what about all the other languages? So these are the first ones in February. In March, we're adding 99 other languages to the mix. So we'll have a full set of 108 languages supported on the platform. That's from English to those 108 languages. In the very near future after that, it might be April or May, we're going to have two-way translations. So then I can have Spanish to English or Spanish to Chinese, not just English as the first language. So a true two-way, multi-way environment. And when you do these translations, they're on an individual basis. So the individual who's receiving the captioning is choosing what language do they want to view the captions in. So I think that's really huge for that. And then from from an immersive and content perspective, we're coming out with immersive share. So we have some of this on our desktop video endpoints, namely the Desk Pro, where I can now create presentations and immerse myself into the video, immerse myself into the presentation or applications, so I can have it be a lot more interactive. Then what's coming out will be advanced layout controls. These will be staged, stacked side by side. So now you can control going into your meetings, who do you want to be focused on? Is it just the active speaker? Is it grid view? Grid view is kind of like, give me a shotgun blast. But now with advanced video layouts with stage stacked side by side, or a slider to say, hey, do I want to have 4 grid view members? Do I want to have 9 or 25? So I can, have a slider and have that customized. And then I can push that view out to the entire audience. So people cannot, I want to see grid view. No, I want to see the 4 executives that are presenting in that company all hands. And I want to be able to control that. So, hey, stay psyched on that. The next major enhancement, this is going to be dropping in the March and April timeframe, is we are taking the events and we're moving events onto the WebEx meeting platform engine. And what that's going to allow us to do is go from today we have events 1,000, we have event center 3,000. We're increasing that to event center 10,000. And then we'll have events mode from a 25,000 attendee capacity up to a webcast mode up to 100,000 attendees. And we still take all the meeting center features and event center features, and we're combining them into one. So event center gains co-host, it gains, panelist lobby, it gains the producer layouts, moderate Q&A, breakout sessions, and WebEx Assistant comes into the event center module. So some really good things coming in the events module. There was a webcast just prior to this meeting that had 30 minutes of a preview of that. And if you're on the Cisco community, you could have seen that or look for it, and you can look at the recording of that. But there's some really good things coming up in events, so that if you're doing a multi-day event for all hands or those kind of things, you can stay in the WebEx platform for scheduling and handling the events. I mean, here for webcast mode, 100,000 attendees, those waves are huge. Whether you're at Mavericks, Jaws, or just on the North Shore, there's some really huge things coming to the events platform. And then for meetings, lastly, there's templates. Who says meetings have to last, 30 minutes or 60 minutes? They could be 7 minutes, 14 minutes, 20 minutes. Let's get away from the 30-minute break on our calendars. And we're enabling that by having meeting templates. These can be a quick sync. Hey, I want to have a little template for a quick sync meeting. It could be a roundtable. I've been in plenty of meetings where we have roundtables where everyone gets like a minute or 2 minutes to talk. This is enforced roundtable. So you basically set up the meeting, say, hey, I'm going to have a roundtable. Everyone gets 2 minutes. And Craig will have 2 minutes. The system will unmute his mic, allow him to talk for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is over, he gets muted. Then Josh gets unmuted. He can talk for 2 minutes. So that's all customizable. And another is a brainstorm where you can look at word charts and do a bunch of brainstorming sessions. And then from a messaging perspective, that let's increase the productivity of messaging. Let's not get buried into a messaging, get overburdened with all these messages, so that we'll use an advanced artificial intelligence to be able to say, hey, what are the messaging highlights do I need? Let's personalize those highlights to me, and then have integrated presence so that, hey, if this is an important message between Josh or between my boss, that message highlight will automatically be done, or I can manually say, hey, this is an important message, and then it'll put it into the AI tool to highlight those messages. So they'll just bubble up to the surface. I don't have to go looking buried through a bunch of rooms and spaces and channels to be able to see that. And most of all, everything is secure. Cisco, we have a secure development lifecycle. We want to keep your your data where you want it, whether it is for GDPR reasons, whether it's for security reasons. You can have the keys to your data on-prem or in our cloud, but we are committed for the privacy of your data. Look at, just pull up on the latest iOS iPhone, pull up, a Cisco app or any other apps out there. Look at the privacy settings for that app and look at what you are actually sharing with those other companies. And Cisco is really dedicated to only sharing what is required, what is needed. We tell you what we're sharing, and we will not share that data with anybody else, whether it's for advertising, whether it's for people in China, or whatnot. We're keeping your data secure. And you can, and we have a big value for trust, and we're very transparent about our security. So with this, thank you, and I'll turn it over to Josh.
Dennis, so
Hey, Josh,
I think one thing
before you
yes,
get started there, Josh, I want to send out some encouragement again to our audience. We've got subject matter experts standing by, so please put your questions in. This is a great time to find out the answers to those questions you've been dying to know. Go ahead, Josh.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate that. So, and I want to just highlight on something that Dennis pointed out is, the security piece for all of you that have been that are WebEx customers that are on this call. First of all, thank you, but also you're welcome, because we know people that used competitive solutions that had some unfortunate events happen on meetings, and those people lost their jobs or at least lost a lot of face. So when we first rolled out or rolled out passwords on meetings, there was a lot of pushback from our customers, but once everyone shifted from working from home and this concept of bombing meetings became prevalent, you never heard the term WebEx bombing because we had put security features into to allow that. So want to highlight, and I think it's important through all of our products, we are always going to put security at the paramount of everything we do. Making the transition. So the first section, the wave that was pictured was Sunset Beach on the North Shore of Hawaii, part of the 7-mile miracle of surf breaks. This is actually Pipeline, and this is a picture of a local surfer, John Florence, who ended his drought of winning Pipeline Masters, and he actually won that event. This is a picture of him on that. And then Craig's section will be the picture of Haleiwa surf break will be pictured in his, for all of you surf aficionados out there. All right, so I'm going to be talking about the endpoints that Cisco announced recently within WebEx 1, and also one endpoint that's been out there already. So the first thing is, it is absolutely scary how many endpoints Cisco has out in the marketplace right now. We can take care of you from your desktop, boardroom, even in a mobile environment. We've got you covered with endpoints, and we just keep adding to that portfolio. So just to highlight, we announced at WebEx 1 last month the release of the WebEx Desk camera. That will be orderable next week. It's a 4K camera. I'll go through the details on that. The Desk Hub is a cool device that is going to be fantastic for people either working from home or even hoteling in the office as more and more people get back to work. And it ties in Cisco headsets. It also ties in the Desk camera, along with all the features that we've released within the WebEx platform. Next is the WebEx Desk, and this is kind of the lower level and less expensive version of the Desk Pro that's pictured here on the right. So the Desk Hub and the Desk will be released somewhere around September, October. The Desk Pro is actually shipping now, and we'll show you, it will showcase some of those features of that product. First, let me talk about the Desk Cam. So this, many of you may or may not remember that Cisco, when we acquired Tandberg, we used to sell this device called a Movi camera. And a lot of our customers love those cameras, but then people started, a lot of laptops shipped with cameras that were good enough. And when we worked in the office, we used our video endpoints. So there wasn't as much interest. Well, obviously now the pandemic has not only shifted us temporarily to more of a work from home environment, but a lot of companies are now embracing it. Now that their culture has changed, it's going to be something that is here to stay. And so this Desk camera is something that we have rolled out that is a very high quality video endpoint coming from our video DNA. It has 4K, but it also has some AI processing built into it. So the gestures that Dennis mentioned, there's going to be additional gestures available for this camera itself. It's got microphones built into it. Again, this thing will be orderable next month, and think of it from a cost perspective, it'll compete with other 4K Ultra HD video endpoints. The next piece is the Desk Hub. So this device, you'll be able to put your mobile, walk up to it, put your mobile device up to it, and it'll wirelessly charge on the pad. It will then use proximity, or the sharing capability that already exists within the WebEx app, for us to identify who you are. And instantly we will create an experience that extends what is happening on your mobile device. And so this can be tied into a monitor. You can use our headphones, you can use the camera that I just mentioned to you, and now you have a complete desk device that's there, that's running all of your applications. Because we're with the WebEx experience, and we already have calendar connectors for Exchange, Office 365, and for Google. So you will get access to your calendar. You get access to all of your WebEx meetings. You'll have full soft phone and voice control. All the features that exist in the WebEx app all get extended to this device. So instead of having to invest in a Desk or Desk Pro that we're going to show you, this would be a more cost-effective solution. Again, September is the target date for that one. It is going to be sweet. Next is the WebEx Desk. So we released the Desk Pro, man, about a year ago, and they, with people working from home, they've been flying off the shelves. So this device is going to be the kind of a lower end version. It's going to be a smaller screen, and it'll be, and because of that, it's going to be a little less expensive than the Desk Pro. And this again will be released, like we said, somewhere probably around September is the target for this device. It is going to have all the features that the Desk Pro has in it. So the Desk Pro has state-of-the-art voice and video capability. It has the Babel Labs that Dennis mentioned, the noise canceling built into the hardware itself. It also has the ability to connect to it Bluetooth or through a wired headset, Cisco or somebody else's, your choice. It supports both wired and wireless connectivity to the network. And it supports work from home technology like being able to do the virtual background. So maybe, Dennis, why don't we show everyone a little bit of what's available with the virtual background capability, how that works, and maybe you can give us a updated surf forecast for everybody on the call as well.
Sure, Josh. So, right now you're looking at my messy home office. If I wanted to, hey, I could be working in New York. I love New York. I wish I could travel and experience some of the great food, but sometimes I don't want Kramer to come in through the door at any time. So I really like working from the beach. So I am just uploading background images to my Desk Pro. Same way you can upload images to the WebEx app. But if I don't want to be on the beach, I can go beach in the morning and go golfing in the afternoon. And I think this is huge. This is a shot of the Poipu golf course over in Kauai, which I absolutely love. But then if I really need to, let me look at the surf report, because typically it seems like lately with the swell coming in, the surfing comes in later at night. So now I can look at this surf report, and you can see the surf, hey, you have a northwest swell here, and it is hitting Kauai, right here, and it's gonna just hit them. But then as it comes down over here to Oahu, it's just gonna hit this North Shore and just pound the North Shore, from there. And with that North Shore, Josh is just gonna get pummeled, whereas Craig, he's gonna be just perfect. He's gonna be happy. He's gonna get this barrel over. It's gonna be over the top, and he's gonna really enjoy the forecast right now.
Dennis, could you give us a weather report while you're at it?
Right now it's clear blue sky here in Salt Lake. It's what basically I think it's a high of 38 right now, and the golf. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be a high of 45. So if you want to hit a golf tomorrow, go right ahead. Get it, because this weekend snow is coming to Utah finally. So we're going to build up that base again in Utah.
I love it, Dennis. And if anyone, Dennis does moonlight as a weatherman for anyone that does need that within their work environment. We'll put his contact information out there at the end. As you could see, he's a pro at that. And yeah, we do have a big swell coming in this weekend. That's for Friday and Saturday, North Shore. All right. And with that, speaking of people that can handle the big North Shore swell, let's turn it over to Craig. And what better picture to summarize the greatest, or to, Craig's ability and his knowledge of all this technology than the GOAT, Kelly Slater, coming off the lip at Haleiwa. Craig Larson, over to you, brother.
All right, thanks, Josh. You want to jump to next slide?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to touch kind of at a high level on three different things: on UC connector, on WebEx Calling, and then WebEx Contact Center. So I mentioned earlier, kind of in the hybrid space, we have the WebEx Cloud connected UC. So what that is basically a product that allows you to tie your existing premise equipment into the cloud and supplement management, do the management through the WebEx cloud. So this gives you proxy awareness, allows you to manage cloud connectors through Control Hub. Allows you to leave your business critical calling and services and infrastructure on-prem. Simplifies the management through a single pane of glass, and allows you to manage certificates, allows you to manage upgrades, and quite a bit more. This is available for customers running that have flex licensing. Do you want to go to the next slide? So here's kind of in a nutshell the architecture and the products that tie into the WebEx Control Hub cloud. This will allow you to manage these platforms, Unity Connection, your present servers, expressways, border elements, and communication managers. Again, moving towards that single pane of glass in a hybrid environment and managing your existing infrastructure through the WebEx cloud. So now we'll move on to WebEx Calling. So there's some good updates in the WebEx Calling. So WebEx Calling is the enterprise cloud calling solution from Cisco. They've added new calling plans. It's centralized management, single bill through Cisco from the partners with bundled PSTN plans starting at $3.50 a month. So very cost effective, and we'll look at a couple things on the next slide. So probably the most exciting thing, the most interesting thing, and I think what sets Cisco apart from any other cloud provider is their bring your own PSTN flexibility. And so what that is this is the ability to move to the cloud, but utilize your current infrastructure for a phased migration. Let's say if you were tied or just signed up with a provider, or were locked into like a 3-year agreement, you can utilize that current infrastructure while migrating to the cloud. You can utilize your local gateways, your local cubes, your local SIP trunks. It also gives you the ability to order with bundled PSTN. So one of the offerings is you can buy everything all-inclusive, bundled through Cisco. You can buy just the cloud portion of it and utilize your own gateways, or you can partner, or you can purchase services through a cloud-connected provider as well. So there's a lot of flexibility there, and probably the most important one is if you are looking at going to the cloud, you can do a phased migration by moving specific user groups or spinning up remote sites, and it doesn't have to be a hot cut, and it doesn't have to be an all-at-once type of migration. So that gives us a big advantage and a lot of flexibility on a cloud migration strategy, and kind of in that hybrid space. You want to move to the next one? So here's a heat map of the availability today for WebEx Calling. I just wanted to show this to show you know, how diverse the offering is and all the locations that are currently supported. So they're constantly adding locations, but this kind of current day offering. So we have a comprehensive list of all the countries that we can provide, but this just kind of gives you an idea of the locations that's available. So real quick, we'll just jump through some of the features. I don't know that we'll necessarily read every single one of them, but WebEx Calling, as I mentioned earlier, has invested $1 billion into the collaboration portfolio. So they are embedding all the enterprise features that you would want in a cloud offering. So they have a robust feature set. Some of them that are important are, of course, auto attendant, hoteling, mobility, unified messaging, receptionist consoles, and all that type of stuff. Here's some additional features. Again, these are a lot of the traditional call manager features that people are used to that are being ported over to the WebEx cloud. And then we'll move through that one. Okay, so we'll jump into contact center here for a few minutes. So WebEx has a enterprise level contact center, cloud contact center offering today. Has feature sets, omni-channel, so omni-channel voice, email, and chat communications. This includes Apple Business Chat, WeChat, WhatsApp, and many more, all in a unified environment, eliminating data silos. Also includes interaction histories to give the agents in the contact center a quick response, single response to resolution. It has features like skills-based routing. Customers and agents are matched using data about the agent with the best skills that meet that customer's needs. Agent and expert collaboration. This allows the agents to collaborate with supervisors and subject matter experts throughout the enterprise to also speed up the contact to resolution to enhance the customer's experience. It has business application integrations. These are pre-built connectors for CRM and other business applications. These connectors include Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, Zendesk, many more. These create seamless workflows that improve the contact center performance overall. It includes reporting and dashboards that give an in-depth visibility into the contact center for analytics and reporting. Also, they're available. There's a comprehensive workforce management and optimization suite. This offers contact center supervisors, agents, and staffing analysts the ability to dynamically manage agent schedules, forecasting, and staffing based on different trends to ensure adherence to schedules. So it's a pretty diverse enterprise level offering. And then one other thing is the API development. There's WebEx has a catalog of more than 150 integrations that include bots, apps, third-party tools that bolt on to WebEx Teams, meetings, calling that are all stored in the WebEx application hub. So, some of these applications include Magical, Red Sky, Dover, Salesforce, Trello, and a bunch of others. And I think is that the last slide, or did we have one more? Yeah, so intelligence contact center for WebEx contact center intelligence includes artificial intelligence, voice bots, chats, real-time transcripts, live agent assistant, call wrap-up, kind of some of the traditional contact center features. But definitely has a wide variety of technology in there to help the contact centers resolve customer customer issues. So with that, I think that wraps up the WebEx calling and contact center section. I think we were going to open up for Q&A for the last 10 or so minutes. So.
And I just summarized, thank you, Craig, that was awesome. I just summarized that if you haven't had a chance to see the new WebEx Contact Center, we have invested significantly into that product. So it has a new look and feel, very, for any of you that are familiar with the Finesse desktop, if you're current contact center users, you'll notice that the desktop is very Finesse-like. We've also made a slew of acquisitions to add features and functionality. We actually were going to talk about one of them, but that we announced at WebEx One. We got to be a little quiet about it, but we've invested in a omni-channel company that gives us integrations into consumer-based products. I think Facebook just announced the ability for WhatsApp to talk to business solutions in their next release. This product that we're acquiring, the company we're acquiring, has already been doing that, along with integrations into I think into FaceTime and some other, and Facebook Messenger and things like that. So consumer-based application integration into your contact center. The last thing is the AI piece and how much we've invested there, and it's significant. The concept of a virtual agent is becoming kind of a cliche term these days, where you're trying to route calls that are in queue to AI to try to resolve issues in an agentless fashion, or to try to gather information that you pass to an agent to resolve those calls quicker. So great stuff, Craig. I encourage everybody on the call, if you have a chance, to check out our contact center. Dennis, did you want to give people something, a takeaway?
Yeah, so I kind of have two takeaways. You know, the first one is going back to that WebEx One app. If you haven't already, work with your account team, work with me, work with Craig, and we can enable the meetings module experience for your org so that you have just the WebEx app on your desktop, and you can uninstall the WebEx desktop app, you know, for that, or leave it installed for a little bit, then stay with that WebEx app. So if you want that one app, reach out to us and we can get it enabled. It does take a ticket that takes me about 6 or 8 hours to get it processed. The other thing is, Craig made some really good comments at the beginning of it, is the hybrid mode. Or how do we bring in the on-premise to the cloud? And there's going to be, you know, there's a really, we released a feature called Cloud Connected UC. And what that provides is I can connect my communications manager, my Unity servers, my IMP servers, all those nodes, I can connect it to our control hub. So I have visibility into those servers from a single pane of glass to look at, hey, what is my call quality? What is my latency? What is my mean opinion score for all the calls going on in those on-prem clusters? And then I can be able to do, you know, management of those clusters as well for like certificate upgrades and everything else. In March, on March 16th, I believe we're releasing Communications Manager 14. And part of that release is RTMT. So RTMT is getting away from Java and it's going pure web-based. And that gives us the ability to, you know, just take all that data and have web and not rely on Java, but also to push that info up to the cloud. It can be via a proxy or directly. And now I have visibility to that from a single engine. And now I can look at what's going on in my on-prem infrastructure from the cloud. So those are two things. Takeaway. One is enable Cloud Connected UC for whatever version you're on today, and then do the meeting module experience with that. The Cloud Connected UC is zero cost. It just needs be enabled by Cache Valley, and they basically submit a little ticket or $0 order to us, and we get it enabled. You go to your control hub, click the setup, and you're off and running. You install an agent on each of your nodes, and now you have visibility in the cloud for all your servers and
And the meeting
applications.
module is free too. So look at that, 2 free things from Cisco on one call. That's unheard of. It's unheard of.
And
Thanks, Des.
for now, for your $99 Ronco fishing reel, all these have no licensing part of it. It just is an enablement.
Great. Cool. We've got a few questions coming in. Let's go ahead and take those if we can. We've got a question here that says, will WebEx Contact Center offer text?
So if the question is for WebEx Contact Center to handle SMS messages, absolutely, that's part of the IMI acquisition. That's the native solution for that. And by bringing those SMSs, the virtual agent that Craig was talking about can respond to those text messages, or they can be escalated up to a live agent, depending on what your workflow and your scripts are. And the script editor on WebEx Contact Center, it's, if you're on UCCX and looking at that script editor, it's like, wow, we need to move to WebEx Contact Center because it's all visual, drag and drop, and it's a really, really nice workflow editor.
All right, here's another one we've got here. With Cloud Connected UC, is there anything on the roadmap to enable this without using VCS infrastructure?
So the Cloud Connected UC does not use VCS infrastructure. It does, you can allow the nodes to directly connect to the cloud, or you can route them through a proxy server if you want to tighten down the security. And that proxy server is not the Expressway or VCS.
Okay, great. There's another follow-up. There was a question asked earlier about the fact that we've got some, we're putting so many things on the endpoints that it's bogging down the CPU if they've got a low-powered endpoint. So the follow-up question that was asked here with these, with the CPU utilization things coming out, are these CPU improvements, hold on, let me see if I can read that there. Okay, are these CPU improvements going to happen through WebEx Meetings, or is this new WebEx One app?
So I answered that in the Q&A. It's both.
Okay.
So the improvements will be for the app or for the desktop app. They'll be coming forward. And that will be in the 40.1 release that's happening this month and probably rolling out next week and the week after. And then in 41.2, there'll be another wave of optimizations for CPU utilization in 41.2. I have not seen 41.3 drop yet to see what utilization improvements there is. But just now, back when I showed you the reactions where I can do a thumbs up, thumbs down, clapping, and other reactions, that does, since that's constantly looking at your video and detecting that, that does have a little bit of CPU utilization. And if your machine does not match the specs that we've set for enabling that feature, then it'll come up and say, when you try to enable it, saying, hey, you need this level of core, this number of cores, this CPU speed or greater. So
Okay.
what we're doing there is we're not going to enable the feature and degrade the whole experience. We're only going to enable the feature if your machine can handle it.
Okay, great. Here's another one we've got for you. What's the anticipated availability date for the Desk Hub? And also, what's the estimated cost? And then, does it need to be connected to another machine, like a laptop or a desktop, or can it be used standalone?
So you want to handle that one, Dennis?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the estimate that we're targeting September for the hub, or summer, this coming summer for the Desk Hub. It does not need to be connected to a machine. It'll use your mobile device to get all of its information, and that'll connect us to the cloud. If you have, as I was mentioning, for instance, if you have calendar connector set up we'll be able to pull your calendar information down. If you have meetings coming up that are WebEx meetings, we'll put all that meeting information onto that. You will want it connected to some sort of monitor or desktop endpoint, just so that you can probably have a little better picture than just running things off your phone. So.
Okay. Do we know an estimated price on that, Josh?
It is, hold on, I do. Give me a second. Estimated price, do I have this? No. Pricing, price between a high-end phone and an integrated all-in-one collaboration system. So I'm thinking it's probably somewhere around $700 or $800 is my guess.
Okay. All righty. Thank you very much. It looks like that's all the questions that we've got to answer so far. So I guess we can go ahead and tie it up and let you guys go enjoy your lunch. I wanted to thank our Cisco speakers today, Dennis and Josh, and also Craig. I appreciate the support of Cisco and their co-sponsoring this event. We want to also just reiterate, Craig has a team at CVE Technologies that is just really top notch of senior engineers. You want to see demos on any of this stuff that you heard about today. You want to talk more about it. You want to get more information, see how it works in your environment. Get a hold of us, and we can really make the magic happen. I'd like to thank everybody today. Hopefully you had some fun as well as learning some new things. And we hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for joining today. I will be sending out a link in the near future with a link to this recording. So if any of your colleagues want to listen in, or if you want to just go back and catch some of the nuggets that you may have missed, you can do that. But thanks again for joining, and have a great day.